I'm actually not going to talk about politics or the virus today. There's plenty of both, but I'm more interested in something that's come across one of the pop-ups. Now, surprisingly, I'm for women's rights. I had relatives, ancestors, suffragettes, women who, supported whole households because their men were useless. And I get a lot of comments on these videos, private ones, from really horrible men who I assume have quite small penises, and going on about how I'm some sort of raving, lunatic feminist. I'm a feminist, and I really hate the fact that some of my girlfriends say, oh, I'm not a feminist. If you can make a decision about anything in your life, if you want to stay at home, if you want to work, if you want to have children, if you don't, if you want to sleep with whoever you want or you don't, if you can make a choice about your life, that's feminism. It's about choice. It's about not being under the burden of a patriarchal society dictating what we can and we can't do because we have a vagina. Like I said, we don't have testicles, but we don't need them to think. Anyway, a couple of months ago I made a video about how you can find a husband and the incredibly sexist opinions on how to find a husband. I've got a couple of others. I've got one about how to keep one happy. And then I have got a century's worth of advice for women, going by decade. No, I don't, so settle down. The 1900s, let's start there, shall we? We were so full of ourselves with our factories and, mechanics, shit that does stuff by itself. Something like that, of society. But in the 1900s, this was the most popular theme for women. From the wedding day, the young matron should shape her life to the probable and desired contingency of conception and maternity. Otherwise, she has no right to the title of wife or motherhood. Young wives are advised to keep pace with their husband's mental growth. Not hard to do. I've been a young wife, married to a young husband. Not difficult. Well, I mean, that sounds great, but then she went on to say, in this day of literary clubs and reading circles, the ambition to excel and keep pace with other women in mental culture will prove a snare if not guarded against that. Hear that? No more book club. No. You better had not outgrow your husband mentally. Just prepared to be a baby-making factory. 1910s. This is from a publication called Modern Woman and How to Tame Her. Have we met? There is no way anybody could write anything on how I can be tamed. My husband knows how to do it. He worked it out. And even then, it's just like mellowing me out for a while. And this is written by a man. A modern woman who is often the contentious type, excuse me, is often amenable to love and reason. Yeah, for the most part I am. If she will only listen quietly, a process that is painful to her. Yeah, I do find listening quietly to moronic, misogynistic men quite painful, believe me. Kind of convince her that she's not always in the right. Well, I'll let you think that if it makes you happy. A woman who will not listen to such a manifesto must be dismissed from your life. Okay. Wow. If she doesn't shut up and listen, divorce her. Probably you will not be able to cut the knot even for the most contentious, fractious and intractable of women who possess subtle and talismanic attractions for certain men. Why, thank you. I do. But, if you can't get through them, apparently men have to suffer and be strong. I know. And in the 1920s. Don't drink tea and coffee because it will make you frigid. Not if you put enough Irish whiskey into it of an evening. Tea and coffee are not ordinarily considered poisons. Depends on where you come from. I've got some friends with some pretty radical ideas about that. Yet their effect is unquestionably poisonous. Drinking tea and coffee in unlimited quantities on the part of women probably has a great deal to do with what is called frigidity in the woman due to health-destroying effects on the reproductive system. Do you know what? There is absolutely nothing to do with the consumption of tea and coffee and any problems you may or may not have with your reproductive system. He then suggested that unless a husband wants a frigid and fatulant wife in the marital bed, he's to forbid his wife to drink those substances. I would like to see my husband try to forbid me to do anything. See, when I hear the word forbid, it actually translates like go at it. Don't try to use the word forbid with me. Flatulent and frigid. I just think, is this not a genius trick? If you're a wife who does not wish the company of her husband in bed, or I'm sorry, George, I've had too much coffee to drink today. I'm feeling frigid and flatulent. Maybe in a week, if I don't get my period. Okay, 1930s. Now, I am a skincare connoisseur. I'm loving it. And this charming gentleman had a marital ratings chart for which you get points for and points taken off. Unsurprisingly, women get a whole heap of points taken off for a whole heap of things. But you can lose points for not liking children. Have you seen some other people's children? I can't stand them personally. Sometimes my own, I look at them and wonder where they came from. Wearing red nail polish. I still don't have nails. We're now 18 days into when the nail salons have been open. I want everyone to say congratulations that I've not given in to vanity and then gone and got my nails. But if I had a red one, I would say to George Crane with a great big one. Going to bed with curlers in her hair or wearing face cream and going to sleep after her husband. Right, I get the face cream thing. I don't go to bed with the curlers in the hair. My husband has seen, everyone has seen the way I whack on masks and acid peel. My husband's seen everything. And you know what he says to me? You're beautiful. That is the type of husband you want. Going to sleep after her husband. Unfortunately, that happens all the time because I don't sleep. Men, this is what men lose points for. Staring at other women. But only when he's with his wife. Apparently when you're not there, he can stare and drool away. Bringing surprise guests home for dinner. Yeah, you're not going to win any prizes there because she's already had dinner prepared for a set amount of people for a set time. Comparing his wife to his mother. Don't. That is a very dangerous thing to do. Luckily for me, I have actually nothing like any of my mother-in-laws. I know it's sad when you have to say plural, but yeah. The men I have married the opposite of their mothers. And he loses points for leaving his shoes in the living room. So he can leave his shoes in the living room, but I can't pop on a bit of face cream so I look nice for him. Yeah, they're really anti-feminists. Okay, so in the 1940s, women were told this. If you're a woman, don't talk about your problems. Keep them all bottled up. And just take heavy prescription medication. It's the healthy way of dealing with things. Be a good listener. Let your husband tell you all his troubles and yours will seem trivial in comparison. Don't bother him with petty troubles and complaints when he comes home from work. Let him relax before dinner. Discuss family problems after the inner man has been satisfied. You know what? Once the inner man is satisfied, that's when I usually ask for something very expensive. The answer always seems to be yes. 1950s. Being the wife is your career. As a stay-at-home mother for 20 odd years, I'm proud that that was my career. Running a family, you know, just I've been a personal assistant in my working career. It is no different. The men to whom I was a personal assistant, they're great big crybabies who need every moment of their lives ironed out by someone who is as patient as a mother and more understanding than a wife. So doing it for my own family, my own home was even easier. To be a successful wife is a career in itself, requiring, among other things, qualities of diplomat. Oh, yes. Hostage negotiator. Counter-terrorism. A businesswoman. Yeah, I agree with that. A good cook. It does help. It really does help. Good food makes everyone happy. You know, if everyone's got a belly full of good food, then everyone gets along much better. A trained nurse. Oh, hallelujah. A school teacher, a politician, and a glamour girl. Well, almost. You don't need to be a glamour girl. You just have to look after yourself. Try not to look like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards, as my grandmother would say. 1960s. Oh, this is charming. Sex solves domestic violence. When Sue, a housewife, showed up in Dr. Paul Popeno's office with a black eye given to her by her husband Jack, the celebrity marriage counsellor explained to her that while her husband was wrong to hit her, the fault had really been hers for not understanding that what he needed. So he wrote about this in his marital column. He wrote that when Sue refused to have sex after being beaten, she touched off another inevitable explosion. So she got beaten, and then she refused to have sex after being beaten, so she got beaten again. It was her fault, obviously. Many husbands endeavour to make up for their misdeeds by such ardour, a fact of life that wise and loving wives accept. Tell you what, the 60s sound like they sucked for middle-class women. Oh yes, of course I want to make love to you. I'm loving the split lip and the broken collarbone. I know this is how you want to make it up for me. Oh, and then he's going to beat me again. And in most cases, rape me. Rape in marriage is one of the things I've had to deal with, and you would be shocked. 1970s, we were told, thou shalt not nag. Permit no one to tell thee that thou art having a hard time of it, neither thy mother, thy sister, nor thy neighbour, for the judge will not hold her guiltless who letteth another disparage her husband. That's a clever way of putting it. Do you know what? I don't nag. What I actually have to do is point out the bloody obvious 20 times, and it doesn't get listened to until I raise my voice. That's not nagging. I hate the word nag because, I don't nag. And it said, don't defile your body with excessive foods, tobacco, or alcohol. Stay in the home waiting for your husband and don't go to parties with your friends. In the 1980s, which is something we all start to get on board with, the common message was be awkward and weak. I can be awkward. I am awkward. I'm so freaking socially awkward. It's unbelievable. People think because I'm a happy person and I'm gobby that I'm like this free, easy spirit. Well, I'm not. I'm really, really awkward. I often say the wrong thing. I'm a person who giggles at a funeral. So this was a manual, how to be popular with boys. Are you confident? Overhaul that and turn into a puddle of shame. Guys get an ego boost from your awkwardness. Mine get a good laugh. No one gets an ego boost. if a man is getting an ego boost from your awkwardness, then I would say he is the inadequate, overly macho, power-driven type who feel inferior to other men. So he likes it when women feel awkward, makes him feel like he's special. It makes them feel more in control, more man. Oh look, shit! I should have read this before. More manly, and at the same time they get more protective towards shy, trembling you. Have you seen me shy and trembling? Oh, protect! I could say to my husband, "Oh, John, protect me! I'm shy and trembling." He would laugh. If I said that to him, he'd say, "What's wrong?" But like, if there's a fight, I'm the first one in line. I'll be like, right, yeah, this bunch of bikies is just parked too close to the car. John, watch the kids. I want to go and take care of it. That is how shy and trembling I am. The 1990s, tell the truth. Never. Look, taking relationship advice from a TV show probably isn't the best idea, i.e. Friends. I never got into it. I don't like Americans, don't like American comedy. But they're quoting a line from Chandler. It said, all right, look, if you absolutely will have to tell her the truth, at least wait until the timing's right. And then that's what deathbeds are for. So, don't tell people the truth. That's what men were being told. Don't tell the truth. Lie. Yeah, go and lie. We love it when you lie to us. It was about his we were on a break one night stand thing. If you're in a relationship, you're either broken up. There is no on a break. The woman, I assure you, never thinks you're on a break. Moving into the 2000s, where I've had the majority of my relationships. Men are crabby, hungry, or horny. Treat them as such. Okay, I'm finding this a little bit too hard. Not disagreeing an awful lot. Because of his hormones, he only has 3 emotions. Crabby, hungry, horny. So agree with everything, explain nothing, and do what is best for you. If someone else doesn't like your confidence, that's their problem. Why? You always come before they do. That's why. Well, that's accurate. I do. Well, yeah, look, props for promoting self-confidence, but that's a pretty dim, cartoonish way of viewing men. They're not just crabby, hungry, and horny. Sometimes they're happy, enthusiastic, angry, which is not the same as crabby. Just talk. But I do agree with the horny thing. And in the 2010s, which is, ushering in my daughters into this world, and one of the general attitudes, always act like a lady, whatever that means. Have you seen the wide variety of ladies that my children get to see coming across the screen? So, Patty Stanger, the millionaire matchmaker. It's interesting, she knows all these millionaires, she knows all these dating things, but she's still single. You know why? Because she's got a big mouth. She's got an attitude. Men don't like that. Her number one rule was always act like a lady, which means don't swear. Well, fuck me, I'm dead, aren't I? I don't know how I got 1 husband, let alone 3. Never have sex on a first date, and only accept weekend dates if he asks no later than Wednesday. Someone called me up on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock and say, hey, do you want to go for dinner? I'd be like, oh, mate, so in. Unless, of course, I already had a date, and I'd be like, I'm busy tonight, what about tomorrow? If you accept out of eagerness, he will feel you are too easy. Well, he's got the problem then, hasn't he? And we'll move on to someone who makes him work harder. You know what? Men don't like to work hard. It's like men like a challenge. You need to be the challenge, not the access of getting to you, but your vibrancy. The challenge is to make you laugh. The challenge is to make you engage. That is the challenge. So, and then there were some other ones, but we've run out of time. So I just thought, yeah, 100 years of attitudes in regards to women and our place in the scheme of relationships. For the most part, things have changed more positively for women, but some of those things back 30s, 40s, I still hear being echoed today, and echoed today in popular literature, in songs, in movies, still trying to keep women in their place. I'm going to try to find one that's got more advice for men. But yeah, look, if you're not feeling up to having special snuggles, drink some coffee and fart in bed and say, sorry, not feeling it right now.